Ah, the cruise. Serving as a floating airplane, hotel, and restaurant, you can go just about anywhere on a cruise. Cruises have certainly transformed since 2020 when COVID changed the world. Suddenly, cruise ships were hemorrhaging customers and were desperate by 2021 to get people back on board. And some of their offers were enticing even to the seasoned traveler. Unlimited drink packages, cheap fares, all-you-can-eat food 24/7, and the promise of a ship filled only at half capacity. They realized that at each port, they were free to book their own excursions by local guides and venture out of the resort towns and experience a new country far cheaper than if they had to book flights, hotels, rental cars, and meals on their own. As a result of this, the post-pandemic desire for cruising has soared. Each cruise ship had a unique offering from no kids allowed all the way to Disney cruises which cater to kids. This list will compare and contrast 5 top cruise lines, along with tips and tricks to give yourself a better experience. These are in no particular order, so stay tuned to the end for the full range of options. Number 5 is Disney Cruise Lines. Though its name suggests that it caters to families and children, ironically, it's also perfect for adults that don't want to see kids. And that is because the Disney Cruise Lines will take your kids from dawn to dusk and entertain them far away from your adult fun. Currently, the company operates 5 ships with 3 more set to join in the coming years. Its main ports are Port Canaveral and Port Everglades, which is no shock that it would be Florida-based. In terms of destinations served, it owns 2 private spots in the Bahamas. Disney's Castaway Cay is a private island in the Bahamas which serves as an exclusive port for the Disney Cruise Line ships. This goes along with Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point, or simply Lookout Cay, which is a private peninsula also exclusive to Disney cruise ships. One con of a Disney cruise is that they primarily stay in the Bahamas or Caribbean, offering little chance to experience a new country. Private islands in the Bahamas hardly offer a glimpse into local Bahamian culture. Disney has expanded to serve ports all over the world, but reviews suggest that Disney does a better job when it serves kids in Florida. Reviews of the cruise line are overall positive, particularly those with kids. The food is top-notch, housekeeping is daily and reliable, but some minor things make it off-putting. One cruiser reported that coffee was not included with daily meals and had to be purchased in an overpriced drink package. Another downside is that most excursions have to be booked through the cruise line, given that they sail to many private islands. This can be incredibly costly. Lines to meet Disney characters are also long, and for many parents, they may as well just take their kids to a Disney theme park. On the positive end, there are non-stop activities for kids of all ages, which gives parents a break during the day. Number 4 is Viking Cruises. This is hands down one of the best cruise lines for adults who want to enjoy a vacation without screaming children. Most Viking cruises don't allow anyone under the age of 18 to board the ship and offer no childish amenities. With a fleet of 76 ships, carrying an average of only 190 people, Viking is also great for those that want to see more of the world and not just shop at a private island on the Bahamas. Viking really excels at offering unique destinations and are one of the few cruise ships that offer a once-in-a-lifetime experience in Antarctica. Viking ships are known for luxury, so the downside of that would of course be the cost. Viking's cheapest cruises currently selling tickets are all over $2,000 compared to Disney cruises which can go as low as $300. An upside to Viking is its focus on seeing and experiencing the destination. Without the same amount of fanfare on the boat itself, travelers are encouraged to explore each port. From China to Egypt to Antarctica, Viking has a cruise for everyone with the opportunity to book local excursions by local guides. This weeds out some of the tourists that prefer to travel in a very controlled and sanitized environment. Once on board, the trip is essentially all-inclusive. Viking offers complimentary wine, beer, and soft drinks with onboard lunches and dinners, plus specialty coffees and assorted hot teas that are available 24 hours a day. For those who would like to upgrade, they offer upgraded packages at about $25 per night, which include liquor and full open bar options. Another unique feature of Viking cruises is that their onboard restaurants are part of the package. On most cruise ships, you are able to eat at the buffet and formal dinner only. All other onboard restaurants you have to pay for. This is not the case for Viking. Number 3 is MSC. This European company has recently begun servicing the US with a fleet of about 25 ships. They are the third largest cruise company behind Carnival and Royal Caribbean. They really made a splash in the US market during COVID when they were offering 5-night cruises for under $200, with an open bar package of an additional $80. Their prices are still some of the best. Currently, you can book a 4-night cruise to the Bahamas for only $139. That is cheaper than you can live on. These prices offer free drinks and free Wi-Fi. One cruiser said her and her husband were renovating their home and had to be gone for 7 nights. They could spend $150 a night on a hotel for 7 nights, or spend $230, which is only $460 for the both of them, to hop on a cruise for 7 days. This MSC cruise took them to Mexico and Honduras, provided free food and housing at a cost significantly cheaper than booking a hotel, and buying food all week. Since they worked remotely, the free Wi-Fi made cruising a far better option. One of the bigger criticisms has been the lengthy boarding process. It's not quite the well-oiled machine as the other big ships. Many cruisers complain that they stood in line for hours, wasting away their first day of vacation. On the plus side, the ship offers Broadway quality shows, top-notch food, several pools, including no-kid zones, casinos, and many restaurant options. Unlike Viking, however, to dine in any of the restaurants beyond the buffet and formal dinner does require additional payment. While the ship does offer excursions, many people are able to book their own local day trips to see new and amazing places. Number 2 is Carnival Cruise Lines, the largest cruise line in the world despite only having a fleet of 26 ships. Carnival is a unique beast. It doesn't hit the top spot in any metric, but it also never really hits the bottom mark in any metric. It's the Goldilocks of cruise ships. If Viking is the Ritz-Carlton of cruising, then Carnival is a Holiday Inn. And yet, more people stay in Holiday Inns. They are cheap, swarming with kids, have a lobby that smells like chlorine, and an acceptable breakfast buffet. Carnival has cruises as cheap as $152 for an interior room and $675 for a full suite. The cruise ship shines when it comes to cost and sailing dates, with hundreds of sailing dates for every itinerary. Their most popular destinations leaving from the US are the Bahamas and Caribbean, but they also offer cruises as far away as Australia. Some of the cruise line's biggest complaints are that it is swarming with kids, and unlike Disney, the kids aren't whisked away at dawn and entertained until dinner. Whether you are traveling with kids or not, you cannot escape them. Others have referred to it as a party ship. This can be a pro or con depending on what type of experience you are looking for. What you will always get with Carnival is what you expect, a cheap price tag on a reliable ship. You also will have the most flexibility as to when and where you travel. Like Disney, they own a few private islands in the Caribbean, but they also travel to enough places that tourists and travelers alike can enjoy their trip. And number 1 is Royal Caribbean. This is practically synonymous with cruising. With cruises out of Hong Kong as cheap as $152, you can't go wrong. It's known for being just luxurious enough to not be pretentious. While kids are allowed, they don't overrun the ship. They have a fleet of 28 ships, all iconically ending their names with "of the seas," like Grandeur of the Seas and Enchantment of the Seas. It goes all over the world and has plenty of sailing dates for a more flexible schedule. They've been voted Best Cruise Line overall, Best Cruise Line in the Caribbean, Best Cruise Line Entertainment, and Best Sales and Service by the Travel Weekly Reader's Choice Awards. As if that isn't enough accolades, they were also named Best Big Ship Cruise Line. Their dining experience is top-notch, and like just about every cruise line, food is all-inclusive. Another thing that sets them apart is that they have the largest cruise ships of any company. Entire water parks cover the decks, which gives plenty of room to spread out and never run out of things to do without ever leaving the ship. Many argue that a con of the ship is that it has too many options, making the thought of leaving the ship less desirable. One of its biggest cons is the fact that it is not all-inclusive. The food buffet and formal dinner come with your base ticket, but drinks, Wi-Fi, and other onboard restaurants have to be purchased separately, which can offset what initially seems like a cheaper option. Whether you are a fanny pack adventurer, an itinerary planner down to the minute, or just wanting to relax without stress, then cruising is for you. But many more cruises are catering to those who see the boat as just a floating airplane and hotel. There are more cruise lines to mention that can fit in this video, so be sure to do your research before finding the perfect way to see the world. If you live near a port or have a specific port in mind, You can always search for cruise lines that specifically leave from that port to help narrow your search a bit. Tell us in the comments below your favorite cruise feature or excursion.